Maya was told that her job was to protect the image of the world's most expensive hotel. But when a shivering man in duct-taped boots stumbled into the lobby, she realized that image meant nothing if it cost her her humanity. Her manager gave her a choice: throw the man out into the freezing storm, or lose her job. Maya chose her heart and she was fired on the spot. But what the manager didn't know was that the homeless man wasn't there for a room. He was there for a transformation that was about to cost the manager everything. In the next 10 minutes, a billion-dollar secret is about to be revealed. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. Because here, we tell real-life lessons through real and relatable stories. The Grand Regency was more than just a hotel, it was a fortress of gold and marble, a place where the air itself smelled of expensive perfume and quiet power. For Maya, it was a workplace that felt like a different planet. Every morning, she straightened her uniform, pinned her name tag, and took her place behind the massive mahogany reception desk. Maya was 24, with a smile that reached her eyes even when her feet ached from 10-hour shifts. She needed this job. Her younger brother, Leo, was waiting for a specialized heart surgery, and the mounting medical bills were a weight she carried every second of the day. The manager of the Regency was Mr. Sterling, a man who believed that a person's worth could be measured by the thread count of their suit. He moved through the lobby like a predator, constantly adjusting the placement of floral arrangements and scolding staff for the slightest imperfection. "Remember, Maya," Sterling hissed one afternoon, leaning over her desk. "We are the gatekeepers of excellence. We do not cater to the average. We cater to the elite. If someone doesn't look like they belong here, they don't." Maya nodded silently, but her heart sank. She had seen him turn away a tired mother looking for a phone and mock a delivery driver for his accent. To Sterling, the world was divided into VIPs and obstacles. The night of the annual Diamond Gala was the busiest night of the year. The lobby was a sea of silk dresses and tailored tuxedos. Outside, a torrential rainstorm had turned the city streets into rivers. In the middle of the chaos, the revolving glass doors pushed open slowly. A man stumbled in, shivering. He was wearing an oversized, grease-stained trench coat. His trousers were frayed at the bottom, soaked through with muddy water. But it was his boots that caught everyone's eye. They were old, heavy work boots held together by layers of silver duct tape. The music seemed to stutter. The wealthy guests pulled their skirts back, looking at the man with a mixture of disgust and fear. He looked like a smudge of dirt on a pristine white canvas. Mr. Sterling was there in an instant. His face turned a deep, angry shade of purple. "Security!" he barked, not even looking the man in the eye. "Get this vagrant out of my lobby. Now!" The old man looked up. His face was lined with age and weariness, but his eyes were a startling, clear blue. "Please," he rasped, his voice trembling from the cold. "I just need a moment to sit. It's freezing out there, and I lost my way." "You lost your mind if you think you're staying here," Sterling sneered. "You're upsetting the guests. You're a disgrace to this establishment. Get out before I have you arrested for trespassing." Maya watched from the desk, her heart racing. She saw the way the old man's hands shook as he gripped a small, tattered bag. She saw the exhaustion in his posture. He wasn't a threat, he was a human being in pain. "Mr. Sterling, wait," Maya said, stepping out from behind the mahogany barrier. Sterling turned, his eyes narrowing. "Back to your post, Maya. This doesn't concern you." "He's shivering, sir," Maya said, her voice steady despite the fear. "It's below freezing outside. We can't just throw him back into the storm. There's a small waiting area by the staff elevators. He can sit there until the rain slows down. He can sit in the gutter for all I care." Sterling shouted. "If you breathe another word in his defense, you can join him out there. Do you understand? Your job is on the line." The lobby went silent. The wealthy guests watched the drama unfold. Maya thought of her brother. She thought of the surgery bills. She thought of the security of her paycheck. Then, she looked at the old man. "Then I guess I'm joining him," Maya said quietly. She walked over to the old man, took his arm gently, and led him toward a chair. "Come with me, sir." Sterling was speechless for a moment, then he exploded. "You're finished, Maya. Hand over your badge. You're fired." Maya didn't stop. She led the man to the staff break room. She took off her own cardigan and wrapped it around his shoulders. She went to the kitchen and used her last few coins to buy a cup of hot tea and a bowl of soup. "I'm so sorry about the noise," she whispered to the man as he took the tea with trembling hands. "Eat this. It'll help." The man looked at her, his blue eyes searching hers. "Why did you do that, child? You lost everything for a stranger in broken boots." Maya smiled sadly. "My mother used to say that shoes only tell you where a person has been, not who they are. You needed help. That's all that matters." 30 minutes later, the rain had calmed to a drizzle. The old man stood up, thanked Maya, and walked out the back entrance. Maya sat at the break room table, tears finally stinging her eyes. She had lost her job. She didn't know how she would tell her brother. As she gathered her things to leave, the heavy double doors of the ballroom swung open. Mr. Sterling was standing there, but he looked different. He looked like he had seen a ghost. "Maya," he stammered. You need to come to the ballroom. I'm fired, remember?" Maya said, hoisting her bag onto her shoulder. "Just come," he pleaded. Maya walked into the ballroom. The lights were blinding. At the center of the stage stood a man. He wasn't wearing a trench coat or duct-taped boots anymore. He was wearing a perfectly tailored navy suit. His hair was brushed back, and his presence filled the room. It was the old man. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said into the microphone, his voice no longer raspy, but deep and commanding. "Most of you know me as Elias Thorne, the founder of this hotel chain. But tonight, I was just a man in broken boots." A gasp moved through the crowd. Elias Thorne was a billionaire recluse who owned half the luxury hotels in the country. He almost never appeared in public. "I've spent 40 years building these hotels," Elias continued, his gaze finding Maya in the back of the room. "But lately, I feared I had built monuments to vanity instead of hospitality. I wanted to see if the heart of my company was still beating. So, I visited 5 of my hotels tonight in disguise. At 4 of them, I was thrown out. At one of them, I was insulted by a manager who thought he was protecting my brand." He looked directly at Mr. Sterling, who looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. "But at this hotel," Elias said, his voice softening, "I found something more valuable than the marble in this lobby. I found a young woman who was willing to lose her livelihood to protect the dignity of a stranger. Maya, please come up here." Maya walked to the stage in a daze. The guests who had pulled their skirts away from her earlier were now clapping. Elias took her hand. "Maya, a hotel is just a building. It's the people inside who give it a soul. Mr. Sterling, you are relieved of your duties effective immediately. You clearly don't understand what excellence actually means." He then turned back to Maya. "As for you, I understand you have a brother who needs help. Consider his medical expenses fully covered by the Thorne Foundation. And starting tomorrow, I'd like you to take over as the Director of Guest Relations for the entire region. I want you to teach every one of our employees how to see the person, not the clothes." Maya couldn't speak. The weight that had been on her chest for months, the bills, the fear, the exhaustion, simply vanished. Years later, Maya became one of the most respected executives in the hospitality industry. She was known for many things, but her trademark was a small glass case in her office. Inside that case sat a pair of old, duct-taped boots. Whenever a new manager was hired, she would bring them into her office and point to the boots. Never forget, she would say, that the most important person to enter this building might be the one you're tempted to turn away. Wealth is what you have in the bank, but character is what you do when you think no one is watching. Be kind to everyone you meet. Some people are testing your character, and others are simply fighting a battle you can't see. In the end, we aren't remembered by the money we made, but by the way we made others feel. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more powerful life lessons.